This is what men do.
It's men stuff,
Yeah,
dude.
men
stuff. Men stuff.
Seinfeld, on crack. The longest-running live-action sitcom in history. Or, as Wikipedia describes it, the exploits of a group of narcissistic and sociopathic friends. This is the story of the ultimate sitcom underdog, which has become one of the most critically acclaimed, fanboy-lauded, and funniest sitcoms ever. Boasting a huge cult following, their live podcast even sold out the Royal Albert Hall. Not to mention their Emmy success, which currently stands at 0.
Why is this not happening? Why don't I have an award? Not that I care. I don't care. I don't care, but I should have one. I should have one. I don't care, but I should have one.
The year is 2005. The pop culture landscape is dominated by the likes of American Idol, CSI, The Romance of Brad and Angelina, Tom Cruise losing his mind, and the launch of YouTube. And flying under the radar, the pilot aired for It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Created and written by a bunch of nobodies, starring a bunch of nobodies, and broadcast on a channel nobody watches. And if that isn't enough of a mountain to climb, in episode 1, the storyline includes the all-white cast tiptoeing around racism, use of the N-word, unintentionally creating a gay bar, and one of the characters possibly being taken advantage of, whilst being blackout drunk.
How's that ass feel?
Yeah. Straight from the off, Dennis, Dee, Mac, and Charlie weren't messing around. The premise is simple. A bunch of friends run a bar together and get up to a whole bunch of crazy shenanigans, often including drinking, scamming, and plotting revenge.
Don't you see, D? We've already won.
What does that mean? What are you talking about? Oh, God.
Hey, what? Whoa, what's going on with me?
Oh, William, what's going on is that you just drank a cup of poison. Paddy's pop, bitches!
You guys poisoned the beer?
Yes, Steve, we did poison the beer. That was the only way we could beat these little bitches.
Doesn't exactly sound like the type of people you want to spend time with. But there was already precedent for a comedy show centered around a cast of selfish, unlikable people. With the likes of Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Arrested Development, and one could argue, Malcolm in the Middle. And the guys from Always Sunny weren't shying away from entering the same territory. Let's go through the episode titles from Season 1. There's the already mentioned, The Gang Gets Racist. Charlie Wants an Abortion. Underage Drinking. Charlie Has Cancer. Gun Fever. The Gang Finds a Dead Guy. And the season finale, Charlie Got Molested. Imagine coming across this in the TV listings. You really have to be open-minded to give it a go. And that's precisely the point. This was never going to be a show for everyone. They were making that clear. But, if you're game, so are they.
What is it that you do again?
I'm like a janitor. I'm a full-on rapist, you know? Africans, dyslexics, children, that sort of thing.
I'm sorry. Did you say you're a full-on rapist?
No, don't say that. No. I help people. You know what I mean? I'm a
Philanthropist?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It gets blocked up in my mouth. I don't say it no goods.
There have been plenty of ensemble sitcoms over the years. A cast of distinct characters, all brought together through one thing in common. Be it a workplace, where they live, where they hang out. And viewers have fun seeing who they identify with. How many of you have played Which Friend Are You? But with Always Sunny, hopefully, no viewer has anything in common with them. Because they are simply too over the top and ridiculous to be relatable. Let's do this alphabetically. First, Charlie. The illiterate, glue-sniffing, filth-dwelling, stalker, / custodian, / bird lawyer.
I'm just the best goddamn bird lawyer in the world.
His role includes cleaning toilets, killing rats, and generally disposing of any filth and muck that comes their way. He has an unhealthy obsession with a girl known only as the waitress. And oh yeah, he also has a really effed up appetite.
I was putting some cheese in the rat traps.
You're putting the cheese in the rat traps?
Yes.
Can I smell your mouth?
Why?
You were eating the cheese, weren't you? Out of the rat traps.
No, well, yes. I mean, I was eating the old cheese to test it, see why the rats weren't eating it.
D. Reynolds. Officially the waitress of Paddy's pub, she evolved from being the cliched female voice of reason and morphed into just as drunk, depraved, petty, and bad-tempered as the rest of them.
Oh, the dishes, okay? Oh, there's the dishes. Right like that. I'm happy now. Here's some dishes. You screwed me, you bitch. There's the dishes. Oh, really nice and clean. Good idea.
Often covering her insecurities by hurling insults at others, she's also a wannabe comedian / actress and sucks at both.
Good morning, Philadelphia. I'm Crazy Pat. Oh my God.
Her brother Dennis is the narcissistic, sex-obsessed, sociopath bartender. Viewing himself as a golden god, he often acts as the leader of the gang, but is nowhere near as intelligent or charming as he thinks.
I'm Dennis Reynolds.
Hi, Dennis.
I have a bar. I own a bar. It's my bar, and I wanted to invite you to it. We have food and supplies, and it would be a good place. This storm is going to be bad.
Devoid of feelings, he takes advantage of women and then emotionally neglects them. Plus, he may or may not be a serial killer. Think of a comedic version of American Psycho.
Well, why do you have a bunch of, like, weird tools in a hidden compartment in your car?
It's fetish. I like to bind. I like to be bound. That's not important. Don't ask me questions. I'm not taking questions. The Golden God is not taking questions. I am the Golden God.
Frank Reynolds. The man who raised Dee and Dennis, but later discovered he's not actually their father, and perhaps could be Charlie's, whom he now shares a bed with. Wait, it gets weirder. He's a self-made, morally bankrupt millionaire who has decided to abandon a life of luxury in order to embrace a more sordid and feral lifestyle.
I used to live like this, in squalor and filth, always trying to get over on people, scamming my way through situations.
Oh, wow, I don't care.
I want to live like you again, Charlie. I want to be pathetic and desperate and ugly and hopeless.
Okay, I'm not ready.
This is the change I've been looking for.
The introduction of this character and his bankroll meant that the gang has artistic license to pursue any and every kind of adventure they can think of. He's like a sitcom cheat code. And finally, there's Mac, the self-professed tough guy and bouncer of the bar. Deluded into thinking he's a master of combat, he's a symbol of toxic masculinity.
Pretty good stance you got there. You trained?
There's been some training. Yeah. You?
Yeah. Krav Maga.
It's cool. Jew karate. I got more of a Catholic thing going on, you know, sort of a hand of God.
Desperately seeking the approval of his absentee convict father, as well as establishing his status in the gang, under the surface he's a coward, suffering from body dysmorphia, and is an ill-informed religious bigot. So basically, they're all scumbags. There's also a host of great supporting characters, including the priest-turned-junkie, Rickety Cricket.
No one is taking me from behind, all right? Unless you have crack. If you have crack, let's boogie.
The creepy McPoyles. And Charlie and Mac's moms.
I went to
She don't know nothing about nothing.
Always Sunny often tackles extremely difficult and timely social issues with biting satire, such as grabbing a woman by the...
Have you...
Wow! What? Jesus Christ!
Their sense of humor explores many of the country's most divisive political issues, like gun control and gay marriage. And they do this by reducing opposite ends of extreme viewpoints to the absurd.
It's a wonderful thing. It's between two people who decide they want to spend the rest of their lives together because they love each other very much. I'm all for it, and I think everyone should be entitled to it.
Oh, everybody up on their high horse of marriage all of a sudden. Marriage is about procreation, okay? This is gay marriage. That's two dudes banging each other. What do you get from that? Nothing.
They also like to throw in a few pop culture references.
Frank.
Liam.
What a delicious surprise.
Looks like we got ourselves into a bit of a pickle here.
You head over with your friends.
I don't think so.
Really?
Really.
The closest other example of this I can think of is The Simpsons, who also have been holding up a mirror and satirizing American life for over 30 years.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
But the main difference is, rather than reaching a satisfying conclusion, the gang often leave things unresolved. They are loud, extreme, uninformed, and quick to lash out. In many ways, they are the voice of a nation.
And, yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a dog this old. It's a miracle that she was even able to get pregnant. So when she gives birth, she will most likely die.
Well, you gotta kill those babies then. What? Dude, what the hell? I thought you were all pro-life and everything. I am, but this is different. This affects me.
Despite being centered around dim-witted people, the show is in fact very smart. It deconstructs many well-established sitcom tropes. The characters never love and support each other, there's no advancement in their careers or relationships, and all parents are bad.
Hey, Barbara.
Don't you hey Barbara me. Jesus Christ, Frank. This place is a shithole. Is this how you've been living?
We make it work. What do you want?
I want to talk.
I tried to talk to you weeks ago. You went on vacation.
I was trying to scare some sense into you. You were talking about giving away all of our money.
My money. I made it, you spent it.
Burn, there you go, buddy.
How can you say that to me? After everything I've done for you. While you were out making money, who do you think was at home cooking and cleaning and raising your children?
A series of Mexican women.
A series? Unbelievable, dude. You're on fire.
You can choose to live like an animal if you want to, but I refuse to be subjected to it. I want my back. You took my from our home and I want it back.
Well, I didn't take anything.
It's empty. Someone came in and took everything.
Maybe you should have somebody deported like you used to in the old days.
Beautiful. No!
They never shy away from hot-button topics, no matter how controversial. In fact, they embrace danger.
Cut. What the hell are you doing, dude?
That's what those tapes sound like.
9/11. You had to be living under a rock not to know what happened. So what did popular shows on the air at that time, like Friends and Frasier, do? Nothing. But for the Capitol riots and COVID, what did the gang do? They got right in the thick of things.
Hey, digging that face paint. Very festive. What are you gentlemen celebrating?
We're protesting the election.
Okay, well, I can get behind that because our guy did not get a fair shake.
The whole thing is a sham.
Yeah, our guy got screwed, man. Okay, so there's the costumes. I'm especially proud of the stitching on the animal skins.
That was all Charlie.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd love to throw in this cool hat for free. I think it really completes the look.
See.
You know, let's see it there.
Oh, he's right.
Thanks, brother. Now let's go save this country!
As Glenn Howerton remarked, usually the answer to any extreme political viewpoint is somewhere in the middle, but that's just not the way we operate. That's kind of how we are now. Two opposing sides screaming at each other and never backing down. It's horrible for our country, but it's really fun for our show. Presentation-wise, Always Sunny took the non-traditional style of a single camera, no audience approach, with a lighthearted musical score, sharply contrasting its dark subject matter. Even the seasons are non-traditional in length, averaging 13 episodes each.
I don't care.
They are not exactly a one-trick pony either. Because there's no canned laughter, it means there's no unrealistic setup and punchline-style dialogue. Instead, we get things like slapstick, gross out, adult humor, satire, spoof, and one-liners.
You're telling me that you believe that Christ comes back to life every Sunday in the form of a bowl of crackers, and then you proceed to just eat the man?
And they're well aware of their Seinfeld comparisons. With this very meta joke of them remembering themselves when they were younger, only it's actually an episode of Seinfeld. As of writing, Always Sunny has been on the air for almost 20 years. And the reason it has lasted this long is, as times have changed, they have not. There's no growth in their personalities. If anything, it's a downward spiral into regression. So where do they go from here? Even after all these years, they still have the ability to shock, amuse, bemuse, and simply entertain. And yeah, they haven't exactly won many awards. But so what? Seinfeld only won the Emmy for Best Comedy once. And Curb Your Enthusiasm has only won a couple of technical awards. The gang's ability to take this on the chin is portrayed in one of my favorite episodes. The gang tries desperately to win an award, where they look into why the bar never gets nominated or wins any awards. So they try and become more mainstream, cleverly mirroring run-of-the-mill sitcom tropes.
Best Bar Award is coming up.
We never get nominated for awards.
I don't need this man telling me whether my bar's cool, okay?
No spitting. No spitting.
When we ring that bell, everybody's got a drink. I don't need a bell telling me when to drink.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shellac her with makeup and I'm gonna blast her with light to soften up all those features.
I am glowing like an angel over here.
But in the end, they decide they're more comfortable being who they are, and they don't need to change for anyone. Perfect. Just perfect.